What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and stimulus package update. The third stimulus check package bill has just passed the U.S. House of Representatives early this morning at 2 a.m. I know this because I filming this at 2:30 a.m. I'll be publishing it at 10 a.m. Eastern time, but I actually stayed up to see if it was going to pass because I wasn't sure if I was going to publish a video when it passed, or and it took hours and hours, and they're debating it on the floor, and the Republicans tried to pass a motion to reconvene it and send it back down to the subcommittees, which failed. And basically, the Republicans all voted to reconvene it, and the Democrats all voted to not reconvene it, which was basically just delay it. And the Democrats just passed it. This is one of those videos you want to watch all the way to the end because I'm going to explain to you what this means, okay? It has passed the U.S. House of Representatives, and now what is going to happen going forward, when the check's going to be in your bank account, all those details. Like, we have to get through all those details, okay? Because yeah, you need to know the details. Let's put it that way. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. It's completely free. You can click the bell icons to get notifications when we go live. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to hit the like button, and let's jump right into the details. So the U.S. House of Representatives just this morning, actually at 2 a.m., they literally stayed up. Imagine Nancy Pelosi staying up until 2 a.m. to vote on this bill. So, yeah, they literally worked all night voting on this bill. So for once, they actually did something and put in the work and accomplished something. I actually think they do a lot of work. A lot of, comments say they don't, but I actually see the inner details of all this stuff they do every single day. And, yeah, they literally stayed up till 2 a.m. voting on it.
On this vote, the yeas are 219, the nays are 212. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
So there you have it, the closing moments of the bill passing in the U.S. House of Representatives. This is the bill, the big one so far. There will be more after this, but this is the bill that includes $1,400 stimulus checks for adults, $1,400 stimulus checks for children, $1,400 stimulus checks for adult dependents and college student dependents, although those checks will go to the dependent that claims them, similar to a child dependent will go to the adult that claims them, the parent that claims them. So if you're an adult dependent or a college student, you will be getting the $1,400 third stimulus check this time, although it will go to the person that claims you, similar to the $1,400 checks that will go to the adult in the child checks. So there's also, in addition to that, the $3,000 to $3,600 child stimulus checks. That is an increase of the child income tax credit and will be paid out in the next few months in the form of monthly payments coming directly from the IRS. $3,000 for children over the age of 6 through 17, $3,000, $250 per month it will be for 12 months. You'll have the option to not take that, but you'll have to wait all the way to the end of next year to get it in a lump sum, basically, on your tax return or as a tax credit. So probably 95% of people will take the monthly payments. There might be a lump sum in there at the beginning. We don't know the details of that yet. For children under the age of 6 will be $3,600 in the form of monthly checks of $300 per month. The $3,000 to $3,600, that's an increase of the child income tax credit. It's going to be paid out in monthly checks, $250 to $300 per month. That's in addition to the $1,400 stimulus check. So children, or the parents of the children, for the children, are going to get $1,400 stimulus checks and $3,000 to $3,600 depending on their age. So literally $4,400 for children over the age of 6 and $5,000 for children under the age of 6 with a combination of that. Okay. Also, there's over $30 billion in mortgage assistance, rental assistance, utility assistance, and property tax assistance. I will be helping you guys claim that when that becomes available on this channel, as well as an increase of SNAP, WIC, EBT, programs, 15%, and extending it for several more months also. We also have an unemployment extension in here of $400 per week, and that will go until the end of August. That will kick in the middle of March when the current $300 per week bonus ends. So now let's get to the details, okay? This passed in the U.S. House of Representatives, okay? It now needs to go to the Senate, and this is where the details are going to really matter, okay? Because it's not just cut and dry, okay? The details are really going to matter. As you can see here on the screen, 219 Democrats voted yes for the third stimulus check package bill. 2 Democrats voted no. They were able to actually get 4 Democrats to vote no. If they would have had 5 vote no, then it would not have passed. So 4 was the maximum they could get of the Democrats to say no. They only had 2 vote no. I'll give you the names of who voted no here in a second. As you can see on the Republican side, not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package bill. 210 Republicans and 1 no vote from a Republican. 210 Republicans all voted no. Not a single Republican voted yes for the third stimulus check package. So this is not like me criticizing Republicans or being a Republican or being a Democrat, or this is just the facts, okay? Not a single Republican voted yes for your third stimulus check package. So it is what it is. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. But this will likely happen in the Senate also. We do not expect to see a single Republican vote yes on this third stimulus check package bill. Thankfully, the Democrats are able to pass this bill with a reconciliation motion where they can pass it without Republican support at all. And that's where we're going to get into the details. Okay, detail number 1. As you can notice here, they passed this bill with the minimum wage hike. $15 an hour minimum wage is included currently in this bill. Now, this is where the details are going to get kind of tricky. Number 1, just yesterday, I think it was 2 days ago maybe, the Senate parliamentarian voted, well, she didn't vote it, she said no, that the minimum wage bill hike cannot be in the package and passed with the reconciliation process. This is the card, or this is the process that basically says that the Democrats can pass it in the Senate with 51 votes. Okay? It's currently 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. When there's a 50-50 tie, 50 yes, 50 no, the vote goes to, the tiebreaker vote goes to the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and she becomes the 51st vote. They passed things like this in the Senate previously. On the front half of that bill, they had to pass the reconciliation motion on the front half to kind of like open the door to enable this. And they did that with 51 votes. Vice President Kamala Harris was the tiebreaker. However, things are a little bit different now. We might not get the 50 or 51 votes that we need to pass this bill. And that is because they have put the minimum wage hike in the bill. And now it is going to go to the Senate. And namely, number 1 is we have Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, who's been a thorn in the side of Democrats, to say the least. He has said, number 1, he's not in favor of the $15 an hour minimum wage. There's actually 3 Democrats that are not in favor of the $15 an hour minimum wage. However, remember in this bill, it's like hundreds of different things, okay? I told you guys about the main ones, the checks, the child checks, the unemployment, the SNAP WIC and EBT, the mortgage and rental assistance, things like that, okay? We'll go in more detail over that here in some upcoming episodes, but there's 3 Democrats that don't like the $15 an hour minimum wage. If one of them says, I don't want to vote for the bill because that one portion of the bill is in there, then they won't be able to pass it without amending the bill, okay? This very well could happen. Joe Manchin could say, I don't want to pass the bill because I don't think the minimum wage should be that high. I don't think it should be $15 an hour. It's currently $7.25 on the federal level, which is about 40% of the United States. The rest of the states have all chosen to make their minimum wage higher in their state, and they can do that. But the federal minimum wage sets the floor. It's the minimum that anybody could do, okay? This bill as you can see here, we'll raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. And for tipped wages and youth wages, it will go there by basically 2026 and 2027. So restaurant servers will actually be at $15 an hour minimum wage by 2026. So it does not go to $15 an hour immediately, but it does go up by $2.25 immediately to $9.50, as you can see here. This is from the Raise the Wage Act, so the details could be slightly different, but this is a nice little chart here that can show you guys graphically what will happen. So it doesn't go up immediately, but it goes to $15 an hour by 2025, as you can see here on the graph. The problem is, if we get a single Democrat to say no in the Senate, they don't have enough votes to pass it. So particularly Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin mostly, has been very vocal about, number one, he doesn't want the $15 an hour minimum wage in there. But number two, which is probably the greater of the detail, is he said just this week that he will not vote for any bill that tries to overrule the parliamentarian who basically just decided that the $15 an hour minimum wage cannot be in this bill and pass through the reconciliation process because it doesn't follow the Byrd rule, B-Y-R-D. Senator, Press Secretary Jen Psaki says she calls this the Byrd bath. This is the process of kind of like vetting everything. So the White House has also said through White House Chief of Staff Ron Klein that they will not try to overrule the parliamentarian. However, we know things change, and we have dozens of Democrats calling for them to do just that. Parliamentarian is not even an elected official, so her opinion is what it is. Basically, Democrats are saying that all options are on the table and that the parliamentarian can actually be removed over her decision over the minimum wage. We have dozens of members from the Democratic side saying that they should overrule the parliamentarian. She's not even an elected official, and her one decision, based on literally just her, should not determine whether 30 million Americans on minimum wage should get a raise or not, and she should not be the one to decide this. However, Senator Joe Manchin, or any Democratic senator for that matter, if they vote no, they have ruled, okay? And Joe Manchin said he will not go against anything that is not deemed legal through the parliamentarian. So the parliamentarian basically just ruled that it's not legal to pass this through the reconciliation process, although they can overturn her ruling with a simple 51 majority vote. Remember, 50 yes, 50 no's, 50 Democrats. Tiebreaker goes to Vice President Kamala Harris. They could overrule her. But will Senator Joe Manchin vote to do that when he literally just said he wouldn't? Will Kristen Sinema vote to do that when she doesn't agree with the $15 an hour minimum wage? Or will they vote and not get the 50 votes and have to take the minimum wage provision out and then re-vote on it? It'll probably pass then because, well, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema will have nothing to complain about, and they voted yes on the reconciliation process on the front half of this. So taking the minimum wage out is an option. However, we have a lot of very powerful Democrats saying, such as the House Budget Committee Chairman John Yarmuth says that he pledges to raise the minimum wage before the next election and that you can hold him to it. And well, another option that apparently Senate Democrats are already considering is a Plan B. And Senator Bernie Sanders has said that basically what they're going to do is they're going to implement actually, I'll just read it for you here. The plan being drafted by aides to the Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden of Oregon, in close consultation with Senate Budget Chairman Bernie Sanders, would impose a 5% payroll tax penalty on, quote, very large companies that do not pay workers a certain amount, $15 an hour. That amount is unclear, but it's probably $15 an hour. Wyden favors $15 an hour, but is currently seeking feedback from fellow Democrats on that figure and exactly what companies would face the penalty. Now, this penalty for very large companies not paying $15 an hour. And there's actually another provision that they're proposing to give a tax credit to small companies that do pay $15 an hour. The reason they're doing this, remember, there's a lot of very clever lawmakers in the House and the Senate, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. These guys kind of somewhat know what they're doing, okay? They're already drafting this proposal that they could use that basically will say, well, we're going to add a provision onto that minimum wage bill that basically says that large companies that don't pay $15 an hour are going to be taxed an additional tax. And small companies that do pay $15 an hour will get a tax credit. Who cares? What does it mean? What that means is that affects the budget. Okay. If companies have to pay a tax or get a tax credit, that's money coming into the country, money going out of the country. That affects the budget. That's the rule that they need to get through the budgetary reconciliation process. It has to affect the national budget. So this is one way that they can get around the Senate parliamentarian, have her re-rule, say, okay, well, now it does affect the budget, and then they can pass it. They probably wouldn't even need to have the House revote on it because the House has already passed it with the minimum wage in there. But maybe if they change the wording, maybe they will need to revote on it. We'll have to see what happens there. But basically, it's passed the House, but now it needs to be passed by the Senate. But the real question is, can they pass it in the Senate with the $15 an hour minimum wage? Will they need to take that provision out? Or will they need to reword that provision and then pass it? Will they reword it and then get all 50 or 51 votes? Or again, will they need to take out that $15 an hour minimum wage? If they do need to take it out, if you're a fan of the minimum wage or not a fan of the minimum wage, if you're a fan of the minimum wage, it's not the end of the world because we already have a counter proposal from Republican senators, Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton, for a $10 an hour minimum wage. So it looks like if they do have to take it out, they can just pass this at a later time. Of course, the Democrats are going to try to pass it right now. Let's be realistic here. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, they're going to try to pass it with the $15 an hour minimum wage in there. Okay, so and again, whether you like it or not, that's up to you. That's a very controversial part of the bill. But if they can't pass it with the $15 an hour minimum wage, they'll pass it without it. They'll have to take it out if they're forced to take it out. Then they'll probably have a standalone bill right after this, probably along with the $10,000 student loan forgiveness. They'll need 60 votes to pass it because of the reconciliation process. Most likely 60 votes. They'll need Republican support for that. So what that'll mean is they'll probably have to go to $10 an hour, or maybe they can negotiate it to 11. Even so, that's still a 50% or more increase from the current $7.25 minimum wage, going from $7.25 to $10 or $11 would be a 50% or more increase. You can do the exact math based on what number they come up with, but that'll be at a later date if they can't pass it with the Senate. So where are we now? They've passed it in the House. We have to pass it in the Senate. Then it goes to the president to sign. Biden will sign anything at this point. Okay, so whether it has it in or out, he's going to sign it. So really, they've passed the House. All they need to do is pass the Senate. So make sure you're subscribed down below. It's going to be a crazy day. They could be trying to pass it today. They could be trying to pass it tomorrow. I'm going to give you all the details. Make sure to share this video with your family and friends. There's a share button down below. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on new updates and new updates on the next stimulus package coming after that. We also cover Social Security increases. Biden wants to raise it by $200 per month, along with several other provisions. Biden also has said he's in favor of $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. We also cover mortgage and rental assistance, all sorts of different buckets of money for you guys on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. Invite all your friends and family, have them subscribe. You can click the bell icon after subscribing to all notifications to get notifications when we go live. But just remember, we have new videos coming out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the next video will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.